आपने मराठी फिल्म भी की है?
नहीं, मैंने मराठी फिल्म मराठी प्रोड्यूसर्स के साथ काम।
आपने काफ़ी काम किया है। सो इज इट बिकॉज कि आप यहीं से थे कि somehow through audition?
No, just through audition, yes. So it's always worked out for me. I consider myself very lucky in a lot of aspects. I've got the best parents who have been supportive. I've got the best of friends who's always thought best for me.
So Devdas is obviously a live thing, you know,
Yeah.
and when you do films or when you do TV, it's like cut बोल सकते हैं, record. कितना difficult होता है एक live performance देना?
Live performance is definitely, to be very honest, हर एक के pros and cons हैं. You know, you have multiple chances to, rectify the errors when you are performing in front of the camera.
थिएटर इज़ अ लिटिल ट्रिकी आई फील, क्योंकि कभी कभी ऐसे हो जाता है कि आप कोई मूड में नहीं हो बट स्टिल आपको परफॉर्म करना होता है.
One time I woke up with a bad stiff neck, spasm आ गया था and medication ले ली मैंने, but then it just like because immediately it doesn't work like that and they had to change the whole choreography. मेरे lift change हो गए थे.
हाय गाइस, वेलकम टू अनदर एपिसोड ऑफ 4 PM बॉलीवुड. मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट हर्षिता और आज मेरे साथ एक बहुत ही जाने माने अभिनेता है, लेकिन वो एक डॉक्टर से अभिनेत्री बने हैं. तो मैं बहुत ही ज़्यादा क्यूरियस हूं उनकी जर्नी जानने के लिए. सो विदाउट मच डिले, वेलकमिंग ऑन द शो. हाय रुतुज, हाउ आर यू?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
आई एम गुड टू. आप डॉक्टर से सीधा मतलब एक्टिंग में ये ट्रांजिशन कैसे हुआ?
वेल, नौटंकी करने का शौक तो बचपन से ही था. सिंस आई वॉज 3-4 year old. सो हमेशा से ही मुझे ऑलवेज आई वॉन्टेड टू बी ऑन द स्टेज एंड अटेंशन सीख करने की काफ़ी आदत थी बिकॉज बचपन से ही मॉम डैड काम करते थे, तो एक आई जस्ट नीडेड सम सॉर्ट ऑफ वैलिडेशन. सो दैट्स हाउ इट स्टार्टेड एंड एक्चुअली माई मदर वॉज द वन जिन्होंने मुझे थिएटर से इंट्रोड्यूस करवाया था. एंड इट्स अ वेरी फनी स्टोरी. थिंकिंग अभी मैं डॉक्टर हूँ, बट देन वो टाइम में मैं पढ़ाई से काफ़ी भागता था. एंड आई मस्ट बी इन 6th standard. मुझे एक मम्मी किड्स प्ले के लिए लेके गई थी एंड प्ले के बाद जो ये थे डायरेक्टर थे, उन्होंने अनाउंस किया हमारे वर्कशॉप हो रहा है समर वेकेशंस में. एंड माई मदर आस्क्ड कि आप करना चाहोगे. तो यूजुअली समर वेकेशंस में आई कम फ्रॉम अ फैमिली हु इज़ फ्रॉम अ मेडिकल फ्रेटर्निटी एंड एक है कि समर वेकेशंस में आई ऑलवेज हैड टू डू सम सॉर्ट ऑफ होमवर्क. पढ़ाई तो करनी है, समर हो या कुछ भी हो. सो मुझे एक एस्केप मिली थी कि अरे अगर मैं समर वेकेशंस पे वर्कशॉप करूँगा तो मुझे पढ़ाई नहीं करनी पड़ेगी. तो उस मामले में उस चीज़ की वजह से मैं थिएटर में घुस गया था, बट थिंग्स चेंज्ड फॉर मी सिंस देन.
ओके, सो आपने पढ़ाई कैसे पूरी की अपने जो डॉक्टर की? बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली देयर सो मच टू स्टडी एंड आपके पास डिग्री. सो वो फिर आपने कैसे बैलेंस आउट किया?
सो मुझे एक बेसिक चीज़ बोली गई थी आफ्टर 11th standard, आफ्टर 10th standard एक्चुअली, दैट व्हाट डू यू वांट टू डू, आर्ट्स, कॉमर्स, साइंस. तो मैंने बोला था आर्ट्स करना है मुझे बिकॉज आई ऑलवेज वांटेड टू गेट इनटू समथिंग क्रिएटिव फील्ड में. But my parents gave me like a good session. They also used to counsel a lot of other kids as well at that point. So they told me, you can also pursue arts with taking science. But science में लोगे तो scope बड़ा है. You can choose multiple fields at the same time. Then I chose science, and at the same time, after my 12th, they asked me, what do you want to do in life? And I told them I wanted to join NST or NIFT. Because एक related field है, networking काम आता है. Then my parents were basically they asked me, get a degree which you'll have a fallback plan.
That's every Indian parent.
Yeah, but it made sense. That time I felt अरे 6 साल 5.5 साल का कोर्स है, 5.5 साल में बेसिकली तभी लगा था वेस्ट करूँगा. But now I look back, I feel that was the wisest move from my parents and eventually me. So मेरे parents ने बोला get a degree and then you'll have a fallback plan. And after that, you do whatever you want. You want to get into acting, get into acting. So throughout while I was in my first year, second year, third year, मेरी मम्मी हमेशा बोला करती थी कि 5.5 साल का कोर्स है तुझ. If you do it on time, you will get out in time. And उसके बाद the more you wait, the more if you fail or if you skip a semester, उतना ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा तुझे एक्टिंग में आने के लिए. So that was one motivation for me. 5.5 साल जल्दी खत्म करो, 5.5 साल बाद एक्टिंग करनी है. So that was my sole motivation. And at the same time, I was associated with a lot of theatre companies there in Pune. I did a lot of fashion shows. I worked for Times of India while I was at Pune Times while I was in DY Patil, Pune, and a lot of theatres and a lot of competitions. Yeah, so at the same point of time, I worked for Pune Times while I was in DY Patil, and I was associated with a lot of other competitions, national level competitions. So there's AIMS Delhi, जहाँ पे around 700 to 800 medical colleges come to participate all across India. So वहाँ पे भी competition था, Mr. and Miss Pulse. So एक grooming होती गई, एक competition में गया वहाँ पे. So there was talent round. So more I put myself out there, the more confident I got, and the more belief I had in myself. Okay, यहाँ पे अगर इतने shell में मैं कर सकता हूँ, तो आगे जाके of course competition बढ़ेगी, but उसके साथ मैं भी तो grow कर रहा हूँ. So yeah, that happened. So that kept me going, and finally, after I was done in 2019, in July, I enrolled myself in a diploma course by Barry sir. So I was there for 6 months. And after that, he asked me, Rutuj, it's not like you'll find a job acting gig right away once you're done. एक होता है, एक बबल में था मैं, तभी जी रहा था कि अरे रुतुज आप तो इतने अच्छे एक्टर हो, आपको तो इमीडिएटली साइन कर लेंगे, क्या बात है, मतलब. सो वो एक बबल टूटता है. व्हेन यू कम टू बॉम्बे यू गेट अ रियलिटी चेक.
करेक्ट.
सो मैंने फिर कूपर ज्वाइन कर लिया था. 1st of March आई ज्वाइन कूपर, एंड 3rd of March I was asked by the authorities, they asked, like, we had to volunteer basically, that there was this COVID screening duty which was happening in 2020, airport duty. So they asked who would like to volunteer. So I volunteered because this was something new. Nobody had seen what COVID is.
Right.
So, and I have always been that sort of a person जो हमेशा curious एक बहुत ज़्यादा, तो कर ही लेते हैं. तो वहाँ पे गए, and I started working at the airport till 23rd. 24th को airport, 23rd को last flights flew. After that, airport was shut, and my journey into medicine as a frontliner started. It began right after that.
So doctor हो तो आप किस चीज़ के वैसे?
I'm a general physician. I'm a MBBS graduate. So जो family doctors होते हैं. So that's who I am. Yeah.
Okay. And you said that when you came to Mumbai आपको reality check मिला, तो वैसे आप हो कहाँ से?
मैं basically डोंबिवली से हूँ. It's not too far from Mumbai. हाँ. But then I grew up in Dombivli till 12th standard. After that, I went to Pune for my UG, for my studies. I was there for good 5.5-6 years. And after that, I came back to Bombay as in Andheri. After that, I moved to Andheri.
So basically, Maharashtra roots ही रहे हैं आपके.
Definitely.
आपने मराठी फिल्म भी की है?
नहीं, मैंने मराठी प्रोड्यूसर्स के साथ काम.
आपने काफी काम किया है. So is it because कि आप यहीं से थे कि somehow through audition?
No, just through audition, yes. So it's always worked out for me. I consider myself very lucky in a lot of aspects. I have got the best parents who have been supportive. I've got the best of friends who's always thought best for me, who always helped me grow, and I've been very lucky with the fact that I have always been, I feel, at the right place at the right time, because be it Devdas, be it Veer Murarbaji, the film which is about to come, or be it Crazy. So I have just always been around the right people who have gotten me, because I was a part of a casting agency called Panchami Ghabri. I was interning there.
Okay.
Yes. So I didn't have a lot of work, because actors, of course, you don't have work 24/7. So I was idle. I joined.
So were you doing casting for Dharma because she?
Yes. I was working on the project called Call Me Bay, which is very popular project.
Yes.
So I was interning on that project, and at the same time, there's another person, Ajay Zada, who's also a casting director. He's also a freelancing casting director. So I got in touch with him, and he was working with Panchami at the same time, and he saw me. He asked me, "Would you like to test?" And I tested, and that's how I got it.
Oh wow!
So
one led to another.
One led to another thing, and be it Devdas, I was a part of this dance group. Basically, I used to go there to train by Devendra Singh. His name is Debu. I had joined his dance classes, group classes, and that's when he spotted me. He asked me, "Would you like to test?" And that's how I ended up getting Devdas. And so, one thing after the other, it just happens.
It just, when it is destined to happen, I think God just finds a way.
Absolutely.
So Devdas is obviously a live thing, and when you do films or when you do TV, it's like cut बोल सकते हैं, record. कितना difficult होता है एक live performance देना?
Live performance is definitely, to be very honest, हर एक के pros and cons है. You have multiple chances to rectify the errors when you are performing in front of the camera. But then again, when you are in front of the camera, you don't have an audience to perceive exactly उनको पसंद आ रहा है कि नहीं. You don't know. Immediate feedback, of course, we have directors. But then audience is the best critic for an actor. And when you are in front of the theater, it's too lively. I mean, you get the response right away, every second. Be it dance, if you're performing, because it's a musical, we also perform dances. So right after, if the dance has gone amazingly well, you hear the claps. So you don't get that while you're acting in front of the camera. But at the same time, acting in front of the stage is difficult, because once you have delivered a particular line, there's no taking it back, there's no coming back. With acting, it's more still, less is more, because one gesture, because you're in front of the silver screen, people will see you. तो वो overacting वाला part reduce हो जाता है. So of course, but then even if I prefer being in front of the silver screen, but theater acting is something I really enjoy, because that's how I started my journey in theater. And the amount of love and affection you get from the people when they see you perform is mad.
थिएटर इज़ अ लिटिल ट्रिकी, आई फील, क्योंकि कभी कभी ऐसे हो जाता है कि आप कोई मूड में नहीं हो, बट स्टिल आपको परफॉर्म करना होता है. आपने काफ़ी शोज किए, ऐसा कभी कुछ मोमेंट था आपको ब्लैकआउट हो गया, या somehow you have to really push yourself hard and be there? Did you have those moments?
Yes, in this tour, because we performed 36 shows, तो ऐसे हुआ था काफ़ी बार, not just once. One time I woke up with a bad stiff neck, spasm आ गया था, and medication ले ली मैंने, but then it just because immediately it doesn't work like that, and they had to change the whole choreography, मेरे lift change हो गए थे. But then I thought I was a little sad, but then I have a co-actor called Gilles, who's a French man, interestingly, who's living in India since the past 31 years. So he's also a guest lecturer in NSD. So he was there with me, and he saw me. I was a little sad, upset that the structure of the dances had to be changed because of my spasm. He told me, Rutuj, this is the best opportunity for you to actually ingrain and explore the stillness of the character of Devdas. Because now, initially, you had to do a lot of thinking, because I'm not a dancer by profession. I had to get trained for Devdas. So while I was performing, I had a lot of things on my mind, that ye lift karni hai, wo lift karni, and difficult lifts. So this time, because my lifts were taken off, now I had to only concentrate on my acting and explore that bit. So, of course, there's a blessing in disguise, and you always have to, what I feel, I'm very optimistic by nature, and there's always a silver lining by the end of the road.
Yes.
So that's how it has to be. And then, of course, a lot of time, because Devdas is a character where it begins with a very happy note. He's smiling, laughing, meeting his lover after 10 long years. And as the story progresses, he experiences heartbreak. His family, abandons him, and he gets into a very dark space. So that zone where you're getting into, it's a big transition. And a lot of times you are not in that zone to, go in that depth, in that sorrow.
Correct.
But then you have to, because what I feel is, because I'm an actor and I love this. I chose this profession because I love it. And me doing a half-hearted job would kill me. And it will make me very guilty. So that is something I avoid. Even if I'm not, I have learned over the years of the art of focusing, and you just have to be still. You just have to, again, remember the kid who wanted to be an actor and why it all started, why you begin this journey, and then you get back at it.
Right. Talking about, you getting a spasm, I think you have also hit your fingers. So as you were telling, you can surely share it here as well.
Yeah, so basically I was performing in Mauritius, and I have a lot of sequences where I'm falling because I'm playing a drunk in the second half. I'm falling, and there are a lot of dance sequences which involves me going around and exploring my inner depth and darkness. So yeah, उसमें choreography में शायद से मेरी उंगली मुड़ गई थी, तो I have gotten a displaced fracture. मेरी उंगली टेढ़ी हो गई थी, and while I was in Mauritius, I couldn't really concentrate on this because I had much more important things to take care of. I was exploring my character more. I was trying to make more sense of what Devdas as a character is, and in that process, I sort of forgot about it. And there was a swelling, there still is, but अभी क्योंकि एक महीना already हो गया है, अभी I just showed it to a doctor around a week ago when I came to Bombay, but the damage is done, उंगली टेढ़ी हो गई है, but I'm trying जो हो सकता है.
बोलते ना, जब ये सीधी उंगली से नहीं होती तो आपने लिटरली कर दिया,
अभी सॉर्ट हो गया वैसे. But yeah, like everybody knows, most of the doctors are the worst patients. So a doctor would be the last person on this planet who would like to take care of himself.
That is true.
Yeah.
Same profession हो जाता है.
Yeah.
You said कि you're very lucky when it comes to your friends, your family. देवदास का रोल कर रहे हो, दिल टूटा है, इमोशन दिखाना है. प्यार में लकी रहे हो, कैसे इमोट किया वो चीज़?
So this is too personal, as in because this character in general is very personal to me because we performed. The first time I performed as Devdas was last year in 2024 in Paris, and at the same time I was also going through a very personally, when you talk about love life, I was going through a very hard phase because I was in a relationship and it didn't work out, and then I happened to be a lover boy, and it already had been 2 years since the breakup, but then there are remnants of those relationships. If you have loved someone, you can't just let go of those 100%. Things or forget about someone. And that woman got married while I was actually performing Devdas, while I was rehearsing for it. And there is a sequence where actually Paro gets married and Devdas is the one who takes her. वो पालकी वाला scene है. So there was a scene where I was actually doing it, enacting right in front in the rehearsal hall, and I was trying to get into the depth of it, and it just hit me, the parallels of my life and Devdas's life, and it really hit me hard. But then, life goes on. You have to.
100%.
You have to hustle.
You have to move on. Yeah.
So it's been very close to my heart. But I mean, as an artist, I feel we are the most, even as a profession, we can actually tap into those memories. Of course, it's not the best way, and a lot of people have different
100%,
approaches.
correct.
Initially, of course, I don't have the same approach now, but initially when I was trying to explore, I did tap into my personal memories, and it did work. It worked like a charm.
Does, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
of course, but then since then, I mean, it's been more than 4-5 years I've been single because a man needs some time.
I get it.
Yeah.
So now that when you started your Devdas journey and everything, कहीं पे भी शाहरुख खान का जिक्र या comparison या did you take any inspiration?
No, not at all. There's one thing I wanted to do is not copying him, and to be very honest, I did watch Devdas a lot of times, but not since the time I have gotten casted as Devdas, because involuntarily as an actor you start copying certain aspects of
it becomes more of a mimicry rather than
and I wanted to make sure that I am bringing a whole new character on stage, a very different persona, even with the dialogue deliveries, even with the way I walk, the way I look, everything. So it was a difficult task, not because I wasn't copying, because people already have that preconceived notion, oh, Shah Rukh Khan is Devdas. And because people have grown up watching
Correct.
Shah Rukh Khan as Devdas. So वो एक bubble था जो लोगों का break करना था. Even in Paris when we performed, we had a lot of promotional bits and pieces while we were promoting the show. I made sure that I told people that I'm bringing a new Devdas, a new character, a new energy to this particular character of Devdas, and I have my own process and own perspective of what this character would be like. And the more now we performed 36 shows this year in this particular tour of 1.5 month, and 5 shows last year. So अभी तक तो पता चल जाता अगर मैं मिमिक कर रहा होता from my producer or director or the audience. Audience has the best critic, like I said. So they would have told me right away, copy कर रहा है. But nahi. So I'm happy about the fact.
From theatre to a film, you've done Crazy, you've part of Soham Shah's film.
Yeah.
वो experience कैसा था and how did you manage to get there?
So again, I was working at Cooper Hospital at that point of time, and casting coordinator was actually casting for this film, Crazy. And he contacted me because he knew that I'm a doctor, and they wanted doctors in that particular film, like be it nurses or anesthetists. Even if they didn't come on screen, they wanted medical professionals. And my character, I'm playing a young doctor. It wasn't a part of Crazy. My character was a much older character, and someone who's in his mid-30s. But I was young. I must be 20 to 23 when I was casted for that role. And at that point of time, my casting coordinator friend said, "Why don't you just test? I'll send you the script. You just test. Let's see. I'll send it across." And I tested it. They liked it, and they sort of maneuvered the whole character around. Yeah, around a young. Yeah,
cast करके फिर character हो गया.
So they found like a young, and it is difficult to find actors who are actually doctors. So that was a little tricky part, and they really wanted proper professional doctors because it was a tricky part, because I had to, if you would have seen the film, I actually dissected the patient. I cut open the patient, prosthetics, but yeah, there was a surgery involved. So you need that authenticity, and then you can't, an actor to be trained, it takes a lot of time. So I just happened to test for that, and then they were initially planning for an online audition. But then because I knew Soham Shah, Tumbad, who doesn't want to be a part of such a prestigious production house? So they wanted to do an online audition, but then I told them, they were casting through Delhi. I told them, I'm coming. I'm flying down to Delhi. It's okay. I'll take all the expenses. I'll come. So I went to Delhi. I tested there, and the test went well. But coming back, after coming back here, they again wanted a couple of retests. So there were around 3-4 rounds of retests. What happened then? I went to see the director. There was a reading session that happened. And then after that, after the reading session, Girish Kohli, the writer-director of the film, he said, "I got my junior doctor. For me, you're locked." So it was...
Finally, सुन के इतना अच्छा लगता है.
Yeah, it was. And that was my first, film as a primary part. And it was quite crazy because that was the very first time I got a script with my name, Dr. Rutuj, for Dr. Rutuj embossed on it. So it was a really crazy feeling. And the moment I got casted for this role, I clicked a picture and I sent it to a friend of mine. So I wasn't sure, I wasn't aware of this film called Tumbad when it released. I was in D.Y. Patil. I was studying medicine. And this friend of mine, he took me to this film. He's like, "Tu chal, mere saath ek bahut achhi film dikhata hu." So he introduced me to Soham Shah. So because he had introduced me to Soham Shah, I felt it was his right to know that,
I'm doing a
5 years later, I got casted in a film which you showed it to me. So it was like a...
Life in a full circle.
Life in a full circle, yes.
Now you have an upcoming film also where you're playing a historical character.
Yeah.
You would like to share something about that?
Yeah, so I'm doing a film called Veer Morarbaji. It's a biopic of a Maratha warrior called Morarbaji. He was a Killedar. Basically, he was the one who was running the fort. And he was one of the warriors of Shivaji Maharaj. It's based in Shivaji Maharaj's area, Maratha era. And so I'm playing the character of Mahaji, who's playing the younger brother of Morarbaji. And Morarbaji sacrificed himself for the Maratha kingdom, for withholding the fort. And it's the story of sacrifice and valor of the Deshpande family. And I'm very... I feel very lucky and privileged that I'm getting to work with the producers so they have made Marathi films before, Pawan Khend, Fateh Shikist, And Farzan, they have made such amazing historical films, and all of them have been really popular and really emotional. And they have all touched Marathi regional industries' heart. And now they're getting into Bollywood. It's their first Hindi venture, and they sort of played also a gamble, maybe, I don't know, to entrust me with such a sweet character. And there was a lot of training required. It took me around a month and a half of weapons training, of
Yeah, of course, martial arts also.
in Indian martial arts, weapons training, and horse riding. So I was learning throughout for a month and a half, and eventually it came down to being on the stage, in front of the camera. It went pretty well. So we are just waiting, and of course I had to shave my head for the role. Yeah, because authenticity. I had the option of prosthetics, but then, like I said, I gave up my medicine career to be an actor, so might as well do a good job at it.
So shaving off your head, so till how long were you bald?
Good 8 months.
8 months of having no hair.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because the film was shot in different timelines, right? So I had to again get back into that place. So I thought might as well just have that look for long.
So उसी दौरान अगर कोई दूसरा ad के लिए audition आता है या कुछ, then how did you?
No, I gave up. I mean, I had to give up on a couple of good projects at that point of time, because I had actually tested for Chhawa as well while I was shooting for that particular film. But then, so I was testing for, there's this part which is played by Santosh Zuwekar now. And of course, eventually I got to know they were looking for someone who's too old for that part, because the age don't really match. But then, of course, I had tested for that particular part. I told them that I am already shooting for a film, and I had a typical. So I was in I was in Bajirao Mastani's look. I had this proper round hair. So it wasn't just bald. I was bald till here, and then I had a little patch of hair.
How were you socializing at this point?
मैं बहुत ही बेशर्म आदमी, मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. And then at that point of time, बेशर्मी उसमें है नहीं, मैं एक फिल्म कर रहा हूँ. And then I was boasting the part where I'm doing a bloody film where I'm playing a Maratha warrior and I'm getting to play such a nice part. And then for that, I had to shave off my head. So it just showed how dedicated I am. So I was flexing at that point of time. Yeah, initially I felt a little awkward, but then I stopped it. Every time someone used to tell me it's a look, it's my new look, I'm doing a film. So they were like, oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talking about your experiences and all of it, you have also worked with Ranbir Kapoor, Ranveer Singh. Yeah. How has that experience been?
For me, I mean, Ranveer Singh, I have always idolized him since Band Baja Bharat, because his energy has always been, that is something I've always related to, because I'm also a guy who's always out there.
What's your date of birth?
21/11/95. I'm a cusp.
Oh, Sagittarius and a Scorpion. Okay.
So I didn't know. I got to know about that I'm a cusp 2 years ago, but then I consider myself a Scorpio. And I've always been an outgoing guy who's, always getting people on the dance floor, dancing, and then always been this over-enthusiastic guy since I was a kid. And when I saw, I'm like, oh man, you know what? I like this guy because he's something else and he's true to his nature. He's not someone who's held down or faking or, trying to be someone else, trying to be poised. He is who he is, and he loves to try out new attires and new costumes. He loves to experiment. And while I was growing, I must be in 18, 19 when I got into MBBS, and that's when his films were releasing. He was on his growth of being a superstar. And again, because I have idolized him, there was Bajirao Mastani time. I had grown a beard. I had grown a mustache. Yeah, I have done all of that.
So you've been like a Ranveer Singh fanboy.
Yeah, I have had a huge beard while he had done Padmavat. So I've always been that crazy as fan. And when I actually got an opportunity to work with him.
This was for what?
Kotak. I was doing an advertisement for Kotak. And we shot it last year, and it was still there. I mean, it was still streaming I guess 4 months पहले तक चली रही थी ad. And yeah, so when I actually, a friend of mine was casting for this particular advertisement. I told him, hey, listen, man, I'm ready to take a budget cut. I want to be there. And turns out, of course, that doesn't work like that. And I tested for it, and then I was called for an audition again for in front, like at the production house. And I tested. It was a wild test. I was the only one who was there for the audition, and it went for what, 45 minutes, 1 hour. We were trying out different emotions, different takes, different vibes, and it was fun. Because I love auditioning. I don't hate that process. I love it because you get to try out different things.
Right.
And we did that. And apparently, so I got to know about this. The audition tapes are sent to Ranveer when he's doing an audition, when he's doing an advertisement with someone. So he goes through the artist he's working with, and he went through my profile and he liked me. So that was a crazy moment. It was like, you know what, my idol actually chose me over other people. So the moment the day came, I was about to shoot the next day, I wrote him a nice fan mail. And I wrote him a nice letter that, you know, I've been looking forward to this day, to meeting you. Forget working with you, meeting you is going to be amazing. And when he came on set, I was the first master which we took. I don't remember that shooting. I like master हुआ, मैंने dialogue बोले, something happened, and it was a daze. I don't remember what happened. Just like एक अलग ही memory में था, वो है नहीं. I don't remember that. And then again, there was some technical glitch, and then we shot again. That's when I came to my being, to back to earth. Okay, now I'm back. And so this beautiful thing happened with me. We were shooting for that particular advertisement, and I had a little time while they were setting up the camera angles. I went up to him and told him that, you know, I've been idolizing you since so long, since I was a kid, and you are the reason why I got through MBBS. Because my motivation was, you know, look at your acting, your films, and then this is where I want to be. You know, this is where I want to be on the silver screen, because why not? And I told him how crazy of a fan I was. I showed him the pictures. You know, I have like literally copied your looks, and he was really happy. And the shoot was we were ready. The director was ready. The shot was about to start. We were about to start shooting, and the director was about to call it the shot. But then, while I was talking to him, I told him how much I adore him, and how much his journey has meant to me as an actor, as an admirer, and as a future, you know, trying to be an actor, trying to make a name in this industry. So he took my hand, he took me on the other side, and then he asked the director, you know what, just like chill for a while. And we were already running behind the schedule. By the way, there were 3 films to be shot, and my film was the main film. My film we had just started, and we were already running 2 hours late. And they actors, A-listers only shoot for 8 hours.
Correct.
So already we were running 2 hours late, and then he took me on the side. He's like, Rutu. He told me, मैं तुझे Rutu बुलाऊंगा. Rutu. So I by this time I had already told him that I'm a doctor turned actor, and I have quit practicing. So he told me, Rutu, you have quit practicing altogether. And I told him yes. And this was the question. I mean, I have told a lot of billion other people that, you know, have give up on my medicine career to pursue acting. And of course, because doctor is a much more well-paid job, and acting doesn't pay you well
and
initially.
Also you don't know, no? It's a very dicey. It's like a gamble.
It's a gamble. It's a very volatile field. So this question has not been asked by anyone, even my closest of the friends. When I started off, he asked me, Rutuj, how are you managing your expenses? And that question was a very personal question, which came from a perspective of worry. And he's like, how are you managing your expenses if you have given up on your career of being a doctor? So how do you, like, Bombay is a very, very expensive place. Then I told him, you know, I come from a privileged family, and they have been nothing but supportive. And luckily, acting has been paying my bills. So I didn't really have to, you know, get the support of my parents. So he was very happy, you know, he was okay, nice, like I'm glad it's working out for you. And then he told me, I'm gonna give you a couple of advices from my side. I won't tell you what to do, how to act, because you're doing a fabulous job at it. And that made me like, oh, nice. My idol gave me a bloody compliment, nice. So after that, he told me, Rutuj, take care of your hair. Make sure that you have that Korean glass skin. And because this is our bread and butter, you have to make sure that you have good skin. And he said, travel. Travel a lot. The more you travel, the more you know people, the more you'll have a better perspective. And while we were after that conversation, he started behaving like an elder brother to me. After every take, every shot, he used to take me on the side. शोगन के पास लेके जाता था, बोलता है, ऋतु ये कैसा लग रहा है, कुछ अलग करते हैं, कुछ नया ट्राई करते हैं, ये ट्राई करते हैं. And then it felt like he's actually helping me grow. And while he was shooting for his close-ups, I was giving him the cues, and he was telling me, Rutu, you're doing a very fabulous job. He was constantly being my cheerleader. And again, we went for a print shoot. And what I feel is, A-listers wouldn't like to be handled things. For example, we had a couple of props going. He was on my left, I was in the right. And then the camera guy was sort of trying to handle me props. And then, but Ranveer was like, no, give it to me. And he told me, Rutu, 1.5 paisa aisa khada rahe, do this, do that. And then he was helping me out, he was teaching me. And he was being such a nice sport. So, I mean, I was learning directly from Ranveer, and he was trying to make me feel so comfortable. And after that, we had another sequence where, I had a camera where mera close-up chal raha hai, and then camera would be panned onto him. So I went a little before shoot start hone ke kuch 5-10 minute pehle jaake main bas apna practice kar raha tha to get into that zone for the character. And then he walked in, he's like, Rutu, mujhe koi bhi nahi dekhne wala, sab tujhe dekhne wale hai. And then he was... And when the advertisement came up, everybody around my friends told me, Rutuj, you have, it looked so nice, and you matched his energy, because everybody knows his energy is top notch. And so while we were also dubbing for this particular advertisement, one of the production people came up to me and he told me, Rutuj, I'll tell you something, on that set, on that particular day, you got the energy on that set really high, because you are the person who's like, Ranveer is like you when he's on the set, but you brought that energy on the set while he wasn't around, even while he was there. So he could see that, he could see something, his own traits in you. That's why he was so happy to be around
that
you.
Vibe, your vibe attracts your tribe kind of.
Yeah. So I mean, I still I'm still happy. And then I told him after the shoot, like, I was like this, let's work someday, super soon. Yeah.
So you guys are not in touch, like through Instagram or...
No, I mean, so, of course not. I'd wish, but I did get a poster signed. I had sent him across, there's a big poster of Ram Leela, and that is his favorite film of mine. And big poster I sent across 2 posters, and then he sent like a really nice note to me, thank you, like with love types. So yeah, I mean, fan service, and then I really liked it, and I'm really looking forward to working with him again. And I'm sure he'll remember me, because the amount of conversations and intimate conversations we've had that particular day was that is something I'm sure even he wouldn't forget, because not every other day an A-lister treats or teaches someone happily. So yeah.
And you didn't say anything about Ranveer, like you also...
Ranveer is someone, so I was shooting for Oppo. Of course, I'm a little biased because Ranveer is my idol, but then of course Ranveer Kapoor, I really admire his acting, because that guy is just like, he's a chameleon. He shifts himself into a very different zone, be it every film of his. You open up his filmography, it's crazy. And that is an actor I would love to work with and, learn a lot from him, because he has got that stillness of character.
When you said chameleon, Ricky Bell character just popped in my head.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean that he is, and when I was working, when I was shooting for Oppo, a lot of people, there were a lot of it was a montage shoot. A lot of other actors were also on the set, and I've grown to know the fact that jitne मतलब actors hai, a lot of people do not really have that sort of confidence to go up to an A-lister and crack open a conversation.
100%.
But then I feel because I have grown in an environment, and because I know I'm not less, because I'm an educated guy.
Correct.
I'm a doctor. I'm lucky that I have that sort of confidence. I don't have self-esteem issues. So I just went up to him and cracked open a conversation. He had his bouncers around. He was just sitting alone, just minding his own business. And then I was like, he's sitting alone. There's no other best opportunity than me going up to him. So मैं उनके पास गया. I said, can I have a conversation with you? He's like, yeah, of course. Please have a seat.
Yeah.
And at that point of time, I had just shot for Crazy. So I started talking to him, and we were just talking about films and what do I do. I told him, he asked me, what do you do professionally? I told him I'm a doctor. Again, he was impressed. And it is a wild card for me because everybody is like, oh, you're a doctor and you're active. So we had that initial introduction conversation, and then I told him I asked him very randomly, are you aware about this film called Tumbar? He's like, yeah, of course. And then I told him I'm doing another film called Crazy with the same makers. And then he's like, oh, nice. He was really impressed. He was like, looking forward to your film. And we had a very organic conversation about films and international films. So it was a different conversation from what I had with Ranveer. But it was more of a geek filmography conversation. Geek conversation about what do you think about this film, about this actor, about this director. So, yeah.
बातें तो हमने बहुत कर ली फैन बॉय की, एक्टर्स की. जाते जाते कुछ अपने व्यूअर्स, फैंस को आप कोई मैसेज देना चाहते हो?
One thing I'd like to say is just keep at it. It's all about you showing up every day consistently. You'll have good days, bad days, but it's all about you picking yourself up and being at it for what you love and what you do. Just remember the day one why you started. Even in your bad days, just remember why you started it all. Just remember that little kid, for example, if you are pursuing acting, why you actually wanted to start that. Remember that kid, so you'll find your source to be happy again and start that journey again with the same drive.
Thank you so much.
Thank
it was
you.
indeed a fun conversation.
Thank you so
fan गिरी जो है ना, मजा आ गया.
Thank you.